sorry, I'm happy that Jagawan is here, and I'm happy that Jonathan is here. But I can tell you, their sacrifice is in vain. They've sacrificed for nothing. When this country, when people were protesting, when there was no need to protest under Jonathan, where are those protesters? Have they died? Where are they? So why are we saying it should not be in vain? Jonathan increased fuel from 87 naira to 120, and people were protesting in this country. And when it was 900, they were not protesting. Are they dead? So why are we saying it should not be in vain? People protested when naira was 180, and when it was 1,005, they're not protesting. Are they dead? So let's not say it should not be in vain. I spoke a few days ago, and people said I'm demarketing Nigeria. When it's true to be demarketed, one bank has just shown that 75% of Nigerians in rural areas are poor. Is one bank demarketing Nigeria? UNICEF 2 days ago released that Nigeria now have over 2 million malnourished children, the second highest in the world. Are they demarketing Nigeria? Let's face the reality. Their labor is in vain. We have a country now that is not democratic. We are not a democratic country. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Is the election that happened in Edo, is it democratic? Just the last election in Edo is the most undemocratic election. Everybody knows who won that election. So why are we keeping it and saying, let their work not be in vain? It is in vain. So we can start picking the pieces now, because they've destroyed everything people have sacrificed for. Look at what is happening in Nigeria today. Above all, Jaragowan, you sacrificed everything. The country people sacrificed has turned into a crime scene. All we do today is stealing, 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 stealing. You know, and we have to do something. All we need to do, he lived a courageous life. May God Almighty that called him home grant him eternal rest and grant us the courage to look into what our Father lived for and start picking our pieces. May God bless all of you.
I mean, indeed, Nigeria has turned into a crime scene. Peter Obi is right in this one. Nigeria has really turned into a crime scene. And he's also right by saying all they do is steal, steal, and steal. That's what our politicians have been doing. That's what they've done. That's what they continue to do. However, I wouldn't agree with him completely by saying there was no need to protest during Jonathan's time. There was every need to protest. There was corruption in Jonathan's time, rife corruption. And obviously, Nigerians demanded better. With the price increase in fuel, you would argue that some of the big wigs who came out to protest, to organize the protest, have shut their mouth up now during this Bola Tinubu's administration. And this is where you would have to give kudos to Jonathan when he said that the blood of one Nigerian is not what his political career, or rather, his political career is not what the blood of one Nigerian. So that bit you can give Jonathan some accolade to say yes, he recognized the fact that politics is not do or die. You can't kill to get into politics or stay in power, which is sort of different from these Bola Tinubu's administration. So the question I want to ask you is, do you agree with what Peter Obi said? Are those people who called for protest during Jonathan's time, are they dead? Those very powerful men who protested and called Jonathan and said he should resign, are they dead? Do you agree with them? All right, so before we break this down in smaller bit, if you're meeting this content for the first time, like, share, and subscribe. And also, if you've been following us and you've not subscribed, please do so. First, the question is, do you agree that Nigeria has become a crime scene? Because a crime scene is where all sort of crimes happen, you know, election racketeering, ballot box rigging, stealing, rigging of elections, politicians steal with impunity. Budget needs to be passed. The budget. So Nigeria is technically a crime scene. You know, the president imposed an emergency rule in another state, and the lawmakers didn't follow due decorum to actually go by the constitution. They used voice votes, and they still allowed the illegal um, administrator that was imposed on a particular state, as a Rivers State, to carry on. Election that happened, off-cycle election that happened in Edo State was marred with corruption that should have said, eventually the court would have said, nullify this election, let's take a new one. But the court still said no. The person who rigged his way into the state to become governor is the one the court says is still the same governor. So you can see the series of corruption that is happening. Money is allocated for building roads and schools and hospitals, and putting pipe-borne waters into, people's homes, stolen by politicians. Governors still till from day one until he leaves office after for 8 years. And the National Assembly tried to, pass a law to say, or looked into a law that removes immunity from politicians, governors, deputy governors, vice president. All of a sudden, that was killed because some people needs to continue to steal. You can see the series of corruption going on in Nigeria. So when somebody like Peter Obi says Nigeria has become a crime scene, he's not really far from the truth, is it? It's not far from the truth. So at what point in time, as Nigerians, would we say it is enough? At what point in time would we then say, you know what, don't let them continue to use us as though we're fools? Because we are not, are we? So this is the kind of thing that we're talking about, where people are clamoring for electoral reform. And I have said this, that if we're asking for electoral reform, we're wasting our time because it's not going to happen. And I'm not ready to waste my time asking for electoral reform, knowing that the people in power needs this corruption to persist for them to remain in power. So why do we have to wait for electoral reform? We need to canvass for all of us to, campaign, sensitize other people so that come 2027, we're ready to kick out and kick away to the curb this particular corrupt government. Listen, I want to ask you, what has APC done for Nigeria? 10 years. I mean, PDP was bad. APC took it to another level. The same thing. Buhari was a bad president. Tinubu took it to another level. And they come on TV, they come on television every day rebutting claims or statistical facts. For example, the World Bank gave their facts. The president of the African Bank, AFD, the additional, gave his own stats as well. The government fights against it. And they say Nigeria is looking up, things are looking better. And then when you look at the situation in the country, it doesn't add up to what they're claiming to be. So who do you believe? The government or Nigerians who are experiencing pains every day, and the government is saying, give us time. Remember, that's exactly the same time they asked us to give Jonathan during the, not Jonathan, sorry. Remember, that's the same time they asked us to give Buhari. And we gave Buhari that same time. What happened? A mess. I've said this before, Bola Tinubu's policies are not working. The man, as Akim Baba Ahmed said, is heavily protected and guarded. No one can see him. Even his advisors don't see him. So we're just working on autopilot. Wherever Nigeria gets to, we get to. Or wherever Nigeria gets to, we get to. Not because these people want us to get there. They just want to put a system in place to continue to perpetrate the crimes and the corruption they've been perpetrating. So again, I ask, is Nigeria a crime scene? The people who protested during Jonathan's time, where are they? The ones, those big wigs who called for protests to push Jonathan out, where are they right now? How come we're all quiet? How come they're all quiet? Now, that's not to say that Nigerians not doing a lot. Nigerians were doing amazing. We're doing a lot pushing. But again, the thing is stacked up against us for now. We can only do what we can do come 2027. That's why we're canvassing, campaigning, sensitizing people to make sure that come 2027 they're ready. They're ready. So that's what we need to do. We need to help each other. And by the way, don't let them divide us with tribalism, ethnicity, or religion. That's their plan. They will pay some people from amongst us to help them read ballot papers and destroy ballot papers so they can write out the results. They'll do that as well. They did that in Edo State. That's the same Edo State. Janet Terebe said, Tanebe said that it was the fairest election he's ever seen. So corruption doesn't see anything wrong. It sees the truth as far as it's concerned. And that's what Jared Tanebe was saying. Corruption is what is, it wasn't corrupt. It was the fairest election he's seen. And I ask, is it the most open, corrupt election we've ever had that he's looking at and saying, right, and we know we were corrupt, but we were open about it. So like I said, everyone put our hands together. Let's see how we can make Nigeria better. We need to vote out these politicians. They don't deserve to be there. Okay? And Nigeria belongs to us for real. Again, if you're meeting this content for the first time, like, share, and subscribe. And also, if you've been following us and you're not subscribed, please do so. And by the way, make sure you check out other videos on this channel. God bless you and catch you up in the next video. Bye bye for now.